Oh dear, you've done it, haven't you? You enjoyed yourself over Christmas. You spent time with your family, maybe not your friends, depending on what tier you're in, but you overindulged. You overdid it. You did not stick to your diet. Shame on you. You veered off. You ate all the chocolates and all the sweeties. You ate the biscuits and the Christmas pudding. You overdid it on the Christmas turkey dinner. Then you had pudding. Then you had seconds. And then you finished it off with a bottle of Bailey's. And now where are you? Same place as anyone else. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about why that was a load of bullshit and a few other bits. So we've got some other bits to discuss. So GPO, the Global Physique Organisation, who I'll be judging with this year. We're going to talk a little bit about lockdown restrictions and gyms and what you can do at home. So here we go, and welcome back. Okay, so you overdid it at Christmas. So what? So did everyone. That's what it's about. It's not what it's all about. It's about quite a few things. It's about easing off the pedal. It's about taking a bit of rest as well. Everybody overdoes it. So what? It's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Give yourself a break. Here's what you should not do. Do not kill yourself over it. Do not get yourself down and depressed over it. You might have softened a bit. You might have gained a load of water. So what? It will come off. What you can't do is suddenly go, right, okay, I'm going to overcompensate. So I'm going to drop my calories to like 1,000 calories a day. And I'm going to do 6 hours of cardio. You're going to make things worse. I'm telling you now. You'll be hungry. Your body will hold on to everything. You'll feel like crap. You'll feel lethargic. You'll feel horrible. Trust me, I've done it over and over and over again. And the best way to combat a little spat of overindulgence is just to carry on. Get back on your plan, get back on track. If you really, really must feel like you have to do something additional, add in an extra 10 minutes of cardio. Or reduce your carbohydrates down by like 10%, but up your protein. You know, protein will help you with your thermics and help you push that water off. But the reality is, just start from there. Don't kill yourself over it. It's Christmas. You know, it's one time of the year. Let me tell you a little bit of a reality check, right? What you eat between Christmas and New Year's in that little limbo period is nowhere near as important as what you eat between New Year's and Christmas, okay? You're fine. It's fine. A week or two, maybe even 3. It doesn't matter. You'll be back to normal. And besides, it's winter. What are you going to be doing? Wearing a stringer vest in the gym? It's freezing cold. Put a hoodie on. Cover yourself up. The most important thing is that you enjoyed your time, you enjoyed yourself, and you had a good Christmas. Now, let's face it. This year has been dog shit. So I think we can all forgive ourselves a little bit if we've done a bottle of Bailey's or something to the other. But like I said, the reality is don't do anything drastic. It just does not work. Your body doesn't work that way. You know, you might sweat out a load, but mentally you're going to be in a sorry state. Just time. Your normal diet will cover that. You know, you'll be back to where you was in no time at all. This is probably one of the biggest things I've learned in my time training, is that overcompensating for stuff, it just doesn't work. You know, I've sat on that bike doing an hour's cardio, hour and a half cardio to try and burn off what I did. It's a waste of energy and a waste of time. How about trying to utilize some of it when you had a big splurge and you've had a load of heavy duty carbs? Get in some heavy weight training and at least try and utilize some of it, but don't start just eating like a rabbit. It just doesn't work. Just take your time, let it take its course. You know, you're human. Be human. Okay. So that was really the main point of it. I wanted to do a whole episode on that. And I was thinking to myself, I spoke to my friend Mark as well. I was, we could do a Christmas cheap recovery. It's just not the way to go. You know, it's not recovery. You enjoyed yourself. Get over it. You know, you're human. Be human, okay? So, and that's why I've just reduced it down to that, because the reality is the very, very, very best thing you can do is just get back on the horse and carry on as you was before. Get back to your normal regime, back to your normal diet, back to your normal cardio and training, and you'll be back to where you was in no time. I mean, I did it myself. I jumped on the scales on day after Boxing Day. I was 3.5 kilos up. Oh, well, you know, I've actually been a bit poorly as well. Yeah, so I am currently self-isolating under government guidelines. I took a COVID test. I've lost all my taste and sense of smell. I wouldn't say I've had a major influx of coughing. I've been coughing, which I wouldn't normally. So I suppose that's down as a symptom. But for the meantime, I am self-isolating while I'm waiting my test results. I went and had that. What a fucking horrible experience that was. I have never felt like a number so much in my life before as I did queuing up to get a swab shoved down the back of my gullet. Still, has to be done, and I'll follow the rules. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to have some very good friends that will pop some bits around for me and whatnot, because God forbid you try and get a delivery slot with a supermarket. I checked on Tesco's. So today is the 29th of December, and I can get my groceries delivered on the 12th of January. Motherfucker, I will starve. You know, it ain't gonna work. So whatever means necessary, really. But yeah, that's where I am at the moment. So moving on with that a little bit. So I live in the southeast of England, and just before Christmas we were put into this new tier 4 restriction area, which is effectively exactly the same as the national lockdown, other than you go to work still, where you have to, and kids will be going back to school. Now there's and gyms have shut. Bastards. But it is what it is, you know. I'm not a virologist, I'm not a scientist. I can only trust in those that do know what they're talking about. I tell you who I don't trust in it. Fucking smart asses on Facebook. That's who I don't trust. These people that get all their information from social media. I tell you what would have happened if this was about and we didn't actually have social media? I reckon we'd have tackled this by now. Yeah, you know, call it my opinion, call it what you want, but these people with their theories and their conspiracies and whatnot, you're just making it harder. Shut the fuck up and get on with it, will you? Because we all want to get out of it. So this brings me to another point. The gyms were closed. It sucks. It really does suck. Now, this will cause a little bit of an issue, but it is what it is. Why has everybody suddenly got a mental health problem? Why is it that suddenly, you know, being told to stay at home, sit on your sofa and watch TV is causing you anxiety all of a sudden? Oh, it's because the gym's closed. Now, what an absurd amount of bullshit. I mean, I feel real sorry for people that really, you know, mental health is a major, major problem. And all you people wearing it as a badge of honour or a badge of fashion when people are really, really struggling with it, you know, you're doing them a disservice. It's not fair. You know, wind your neck in and get on with it like everybody else. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. As for gyms for mental health, oh, come off it. You know, yes, there is a degree of that, but no. The reality is, gyms are a breeding ground. I don't care what anybody says. They really are. You know, you've got multi-functioning machinery being used. That, you know, it's got all sorts of moving parts. Cleaning that adequately and correctly is next to impossible. And when you've got 10, 20, 30, 100, 150, 200 people coming through your door to use the gym, you ain't going to keep it clean. You're not. I've seen it myself in gyms. I've seen it in several. You what started out as, oh, I'll clean this down and I'll use this tissue and this sanitation spray and whatever else. Now, for a start, the sanitation sprays, they have a contact time. Most of them are 30 seconds, cheaper ones are 60 seconds, really cheap ones are 120 seconds. But people just spray it on, wipe it off, and all hunky-dory. Now, people weren't even bothering to do that, so don't give me all this crap that it wasn't going to change. Then we've got these petitions. Have you seen the petitions? Oh, this makes me laugh. Now, under UK law, a petition that is sent to Parliament must run for a minimum of 6 months. Now, this is for good reason. The reason for this is because if it wasn't the case, people would just do a petition for everything. You know, I want free socks. I'm going to write a petition. You can get 100,000 signatures. Look at YouTube. Look at people on YouTube. They do really, really well when they've got the time and commitment to it. So it's easy enough to get people to sign up with these things. But this shows the level of how much people read and what they don't read. Because at the bottom of these online petitions, it clearly states, this petition must run for 6 months. And the one I'm referring to actually has to run until June 2021. And the petition is to open gyms in Tier 4 lockdown restriction areas. So, it can get reviewed in June 21. It then has to go through I think it's something as simple as the Petitions Committee, but it might be something a little bit more than that. They normally meet in Parliament on a Monday. And then they go through, and then they vote on ones that appear to be legible and worthwhile, and then they submit it into Parliament. So you'll be lucky if that petition will even see a government head until July, if at all. But you're all jumping on the bandwagon to get it signed. It ain't gonna make a shit of difference to something that's going on now. And the reality is, all right, yeah. What we need a petition for is more support for gyms, financial support. The gym I go to, they've got no support at all, nothing. The owner's been on the phone to the local council and everyone, pleading with them for help to save his business. He's got God knows how many members who are continuing to pay their monthly subscription fees, but no financial help whatsoever. And there's so many industries like that. Why are you not petitioning about that? Start using your noddle. It's as simple as that. Use your nugget a little bit. And the reality is, I don't care what report came out that said that there has been no confirmed cases that have come from a gym. How do you know that? Because in the next sentence, what you said was that the track and trace app was useless and a waste of time and doesn't work. But do you know why it doesn't work? Because people aren't using it. It's like anything. Let's look at Microsoft Excel, for example. What an amazing tool. What an amazing piece of software. But it is fucking useless unless the data that's put into it is worthwhile. It's the same as the track and trace. If the data's not put into it, it's fucking useless. But yet, at the same time, you say on the back of that, well, no one's had a confirmed case that's come out of it. Oh, go fuck off. You're talking at your back end. Everything's one bit or another. Then the next thing was, Nick Capo, this young lad from Liverpool. Nick Capo did jack shit. What he did was identify a variation between 2 levels of restrictions in 2 varying cities that were different, causing the councils to look like mugs. That's what changed it, not his campaigning. Don't kid yourself. I had a message on Instagram, or a response, when I identified that this fucking petition was a pointless waste of time. But we need to do something. People are kidding themselves if they think that gyms are going to reopen in January. Okay, well, do what? How about you follow it and actually stick to it and see if that works? Because no one has stuck to any of these rules. I know. I saw people. This got me. This was brilliant. As soon as the Tier 4 jumped in, our neighbouring cities are Tier 3, so the gyms were open. So people are jumping over there to go and train from the tier 4, and you're not meant to leave your tier 4. Now, if these were like competitive bodybuilders or competitive powerlifters and athletes and, conditioned athletes or whatever, I kind of get it. You've got to stay on program, you've got to stay on track. It's partly your career, partly your progression, and partly where you want to go. Dave the fatty that gets a fish and chips after he trains on a Friday evening does not fucking warrant jumping out of his tier to go and break the law and go somewhere else and potentially make this worse. Now, we've been in this shit for nearly a year now, and people are still fucking around. Come on, wisen up. Just get on with it. Stop saying, oh, it's my mental. It's nothing to do with your mental health. And what you're doing by doing that is taking away any sort of, lost for words. Any sort of concentration onto people that genuinely need help with their mental health, because you want to announce it like it's some little fashion badge of honor and you're going to get the gyms open because of it. Come off it. Just get on. Yeah. Are things going to get better? I don't think so at all. I cannot. Tomorrow is when they're supposed to be doing another announcement on the thing, and do I think it's going to get better? No, do I fuck. I think kids are going to be told that schools are going to be closed for another couple of weeks in January. That's what I think. Gyms won't be getting reopened. Personally, I don't think so. And I think things are going to get tighter and tighter and tighter until people start realising that we are in a sad state of affairs. Now, I, like everybody else, had my doubts, and I still do. But I know I've got friends who work in ICU, and I've seen how drained they are. You've only got to talk to them and they tell you some things that they see, and it's, I had one friend of mine from my daughter's football club. He works in ICU, and, he was telling me he had to sit there with this chap who was feasibly fine. He looked absolutely fine, but they told him they were going to have to put him into a coma, an induced coma, because of what was coming. And the likeliness of him coming back out of that coma was very small. And he had to sit there while he called his wife. Fuck that. And then you've got the audacity. I mean, I know 5 people that have died. 2 of which were healthy people. All right, in their mid-40s, late 40s. But they were healthy. They were fine. That's not an old age. The other 3 were... they had underlying conditions, and that obviously contributed to it. But, people are dying. Come on, let's wisen up. Anyway, let's move along to something a little bit more brighter and a little bit more fun. So, I am getting my ass back into the judging seat next year. I'm currently just doing some reviews over criterias of various classes for the Global Physique Organisation in the United Kingdom. There are 2 shows been confirmed for next year. Touch wood. We have the Battle of Bristol in June and the Battle of Bedford in October. Both of these shows I think are going to be great, and because they're local, I'm interested. Because on the local level, the grassroots of bodybuilding is where it all happens for me. That's where you really see, people pushing at their best, or learning, or messing up, or whatever, but you see it all. So I am... See, told you. I'm properly excited to be getting back into a position of judging. I love judging, I love bodybuilding, and I love seeing people's progression. It's been a couple of years since I've been on the seat. And I think what I used to enjoy is when you saw someone the following season and you remembered them from the season before and seeing the progress that they'd made or not. And the feedback you get as a judge as well. We're constantly, can I get feedback? Can I get feedback? Can I get feedback? Can I get feedback? We want feedback too. Do you feel you were judged fairly? And if you don't, why? Because if you tell me that because Martha in the 4th row back thought you won, your auntie, no, I'm sorry, she's not sat where I am. She won't understand symmetry, balance. She won't understand the variance in mass and condition and proportions and size and shape, presentation and so on. So, but yeah, give us feedback as well. Now, a little thing on feedback, bear in mind, 9 times out of 10, feedback should be collective. So it is good practice to go and speak to a judge on their own and ask for their feedback. And it's certainly not good practice for that judge to give you their feedback off their own accord. If you've got 7 judges, you want feedback as a collective from all 7, not one. Because remember, if you've got 7 judges, the top mark and the lowest marks are removed, and the 5 judges remaining, their scores are used. That is to avoid any conflict of interest and whatever else, and to find that mean average. So here's a little thing. On an amateur level, how do you score that on an amateur level? Well, it's really, really, really easy. Other than they are putting you in a placing based on their knowledge of the criteria and your fitment of the criteria, effectively placings are points. So if you've got, let's just make it easy, you've got 3 judges, and you've got athlete 1, 2 and 3. So this judge does, right, 1st place to athlete 1, 2nd place to athlete 2, 3rd place to athlete 3. The 2nd judge does 1st place to athlete 1, 3rd place to athlete 2, 3rd place to athlete whatever. The point is, at the end of that, the person with the lowest number is the winner, because they've got more higher placing positions. So when all those positions are added together, the person with the lowest number, there's your winner. And bodybuilding is probably the easiest in terms of criteria to judge, because there's only 4 elements, whereas things like physique is a little bit more involved, because you're looking at aesthetic, beauty, skin, hair, do they look the part, do they look like a bag of shit? Physique is about not just the physique, but the total appearance. Whereas bodybuilding, you can look like you've been smashed in the face with a baseball bat. It doesn't matter, as long as you're a bodybuilder and you're big and you're hard and you're dry and you're conditioned. Effectively we're looking at mass, condition, shape and symmetry. Shape and symmetry is another one people get confused with. These are buzzwords that are thrown around quite a lot. Balance and symmetry, almost the same thing. It's not about left to right. It's not about top to bottom. It's about left to right and top to bottom and front to back. Is your upper body in proportion to your lower body? Yes. Well, it's good. That's symmetry. That's balance. Have you got fucking ginormous quads and no calves? Well, the symmetry's gone. You're out of balance. So that's a very, very basic of it. But the overall point is, yes, I am back in the judges' seat. I cannot wait. GPO are a very, very new federation. There is federations under GPO across Europe. And yeah, it's so exciting. Matt Adams is the president of GPO, and he's very, very fucking committed. He lives and breathes this stuff. I'll put a link to Matt's channel, loads and loads of content on there. So yeah, okay, so I'm gonna come away from that and I'm gonna go back to the lockdown a little bit. So you're in a tier 4, you got no weights, you got no kit. What can you do? It's body weight, I'm afraid. And this is where I would start using sort of HIIT methods and Tabata, start training and start working on your fitness. Now, you are not going to lose muscle. As long as you're eating enough, you're not going to lose muscle, so don't worry about that. But you will improve your composition, you will improve your overall fitness. So high intensity infill training, Tabata style training, things like that. They're quite good fun as well, and anything that involves any sort of plyometric movement, like jumping up and down, is very, very good. You know, box jumps and whatnot else. So we can go out and drag a log out of a forest, stick it on your shoulder, and do walking lunges down the fuck off, you know. And you can put it on Instagram and hashtag whatever it takes and all that crap. I'm not going to be doing it. Actually, I'm quite fortunate. I've got a few weights and bits, and I'm quite good to keep in my own thing. But before that was doing that, I gave it a go. I stuck both my kids on my shoulders, tried squatting them too. All I did was make them sick. Yeah, wasn't great. It is what it is. You've really got to use the best of resources that you can. There's bits of kit around your house though that you might not be aware of, that you can be aware of. So if you go onto Instagram and look for Cardillo belts, Cardillo are a manufacturer of weightlifting belts in North America, and he's also very famous for his style of training, the style of working out. Yeah, he's a bit of a loon, but basically he trains with water a lot. So he uses buckets and bales of water. He'll pop holes in the bottom of it and rep it out and call that a drop set, because obviously the water's discharging and getting lighter as he's training. So you can do that sort of thing with buckets, or empty cartons of milk, fill them with water, put them in buckets, or whatever else. You can do bits like that. But the reality is most of it's going to be cardio based and body weight based, and you can do a lot with body weight based workouts. All right, if you've got massive quads and you squat 200 kilos, is doing 150 body weights what's going to help you? Probably not. It's probably just going to give you sore knees. But something's better than nothing, right? It really is a case of getting creative and post that. Post it online. People want to see that. People want to learn from that. And it's also a bit of fun. See how wacky you can come out with something to train with. I saw somebody the other week with a 5 kilo bag of potatoes. And they were doing shuttle runs. Like, they would run up, drop the 5 kilo bag, run back, grab another 5 kilo bag, run it up, grab 2 bags, run them back, and over and over again. Personally, I looked at that and went, yeah, no, I'm all right. But still, there is plenty you can do. So, main point of this video, first of all, I haven't been online for a little while. I've been very, 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 very busy. I'm not going to apologise for that, but I do apologise for not putting up any content. Again, this is another episode where I have planned bugger all and just spoke off the top of my head. If I've offended you, go and view somewhere else. I'm trying to be realistic with things, with what I do and what I say, and that's it really. So yeah, we're nearly at New Year. Let's hope for a better one next year. And just like with the Christmas, it's okay to have a drink and enjoy yourself at New Year's. You're human. Be with your family. Anyway, so if you are in the area or areas and you're interested in competing with GPO, I'll put the link to their website onto my channel, and I will start sharing the shit out of that, because it'll be great to get loads of people on there. I can't see there being any issue with competitions in June and October. Fingers crossed. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing loads of people up there, and making my job as hard as possible. Get it planned, get it in your diary, get your prep planned, what you're gonna do, get excited about it. Competing's exciting, it's fun, yeah, it's a bit of hardship getting there, but you know, it's your chance to display your hard-earned muscle and what you do and your dedication. So get registered, get competing. Other than that, I wish everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I wish you all a very, very happy new year, and I hope that next year brings a lot better fortune than this year has. And please, if you are going to campaign to help others, do something that's going to help them. You know, campaign for, you know, more help in the sector, you know, financially. Yeah. Not a petition that's going to be looked at in 6 to 8 months' time, wasting everyone's fucking time. But anyway, that's your choice. Peace, love, respect, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Take care. See you soon. Peace.